Hi, and welcome to the Hawks Central Huddle from the Des Moines Register. I am your host, Chris Cuellar. With me, as always, Hawkeye columnist Chad Leistikow. It is Cyhawk Week, Chad. We are talking all things Iowa and Iowa State. What are you looking forward to most about this matchup of the names on Saturday?
Well, it's a toss-up game. Vegas likes Iowa by a point or two, depending where you look. So it should be a fantastic game. I think obviously what's most interesting is where Iowa is weak, Iowa State is strong. Where Iowa State is perceived to be weak, Iowa is strong. So it's just going to be a fascinating matchup to watch unfold. And as everyone knows in this series, anything can happen.
Iowa State and Iowa, you talk about those matchups. Let's start up front. Offensive lines, defensive lines, who has the advantage in this thing?
I think the perceived edge there, obviously, is that Iowa has the strength in the trenches. And I think what we saw in week one, you'd have to say Iowa's front seven is better than the other team's front five until proven otherwise. You could say that almost every week at this point, probably. Outstanding performance against Wyoming, linebackers and defensive line. I really liked how Phil Parker picked his spots with blitzes. It seemed like it worked every time it was tried, and nobody got burned. Iowa definitely has that advantage. Offensively, I'm still not sold on Iowa's offensive line. I know it's an award winner.
Dealing with some injuries.
Dealing with injuries. New left tackle. James Daniels will be playing his first game of the season. So let's see how the Iowa's offensive line does against a Power 5 opponent before we get too confident in the running game.
You mentioned what looks like a key position, at least preseason and week one played out that way. Wide receivers and receiving options for both teams.
Yeah, certainly Iowa's going to have trouble throwing the ball. Or I wouldn't say for sure, but Iowa only threw to 2 receivers and then 1 tight end in its opener. Meanwhile, Iowa State certainly has the tall receivers. We all know about Alan Lazard already, the Cyclones' all-time leading receiver. This is the last time the Hawkeyes have to face him. Has not been a Hawkeye killer of yet. I'm sure he wants to.
Sure.
But Iowa will get Manny Rugamba back this week. I thought Joshua Jackson played an outstanding game in his second career start. And Michael Ojemudia was in his first career start. Very, very strong game there too. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Iowa's corners are taller than they have been in past years. Iowa State has tall receivers. So let's look for some jump balls maybe. Who wins those jump balls? That might be a big factor in this game.
Josh Allen had a huge arm, but Wyoming didn't take that many shots down the field, and as you already mentioned, didn't get in the red zone a single time. I think Iowa State's going to try to find a way to get things down there.
Right.
So. And then, maybe an X and it's not quite an X and O, but seems this series always gets a little awkward. Either when it goes to Ames or when one team, is in a toss-up game like this. What are some of the, intangibles that you think you'll see on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, you think back to a 5 field goal game, from Brett Culberson several years ago where Iowa lost. But then you look at the flip side, 2 years ago, tie score, fourth quarter, C.J. Beathard, 3rd and 21 from his own end zone. Throws a 48-yard pass to Matt Vandenberg. Game changes. Just so many little things can just add up to an outcome. One play here, one play there. It's going to be a tough crowd. Iowa is prepared for that hostility. Already talking about that walk from the bus to the locker room. Being Akram Wadley talked about it being lined with
got to put on those Beats headphones.
Red and yellow and drunk fans is how he put it. So the rivalry stirred up a little bit here. I think Iowa's business as usual mantra will be the approach. Let's see how it works.
Excellent. For Chad, I'm Chris. Us and the entire Des Moines Register staff, it seems, will be up in Ames on Saturday for all your coverage. DesMoinesRegister.com, HawkCentral.com, and again, the Hawk Central app. We'll be back next week with more Hawk Central talk. Thanks for tuning in.